Hey everyone, it's time for Tech News Day, and this episode is sponsored by Skillshare. It's an online learning community with thousands of classes, and we're going to tell you more about them later. But first, as always, the actual news.
Yeah, so guys, it's hard out here for a YouTuber. I mean, not really at all, especially when compared to just about any other job, but part of being a YouTuber is always feeling sorry for yourself. And today we, and probably countless other channels, are doing just that after reading Forbes' 2018 list of the highest paid YouTubers. Because, to nobody's surprise at this point, people who aren't us are making absolute bank on this platform. And while most of the names on Forbes' list are people you probably already safely assumed were rolling in money, in true clickbait fashion, number one will shock you.
They're going to have to make a Forbes 10 under 10 list.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Anyways, both the Paul brothers are on this list, obviously, though it shouldn't surprise anyone that Logan Paul had a much worse year than his younger brother Jake Paul, since Logan uploaded that video of himself finding and laughing at a dead body on New Year's Day of this year. It seems to have affected his advertising opportunities.
Oh.
But yeah, by much worse though, we mean that Logan pulled in only $14.4 million compared to Jake, who came in at number 2 with $21.5 million.
Well, sounds like Logan must have really learned his lesson.
I'm gonna cry this entire time.
And for as much as we hate the Paul brothers, we do have to at least give some credit here, because they're kind of the only ones on this list who make it abundantly clear how wealthy they are in literally every video they make.
It's a point of pride to them.
Say what you will about them, but they are rich and they're not pretending to be just normal.
Yes.
The other creators on this list, like PewDiePie, $15.5 million, Jacksepticeye, $16 million, Vanoss, $17 million, Markiplier, $17.5 million, and Dan TDM with $18.5 million. All those guys still kind of deliberately project an image of just being your average gamer dude who's broadcasting from their home, which I guess they technically are. It's just that the home they're broadcasting from is very big and very nice outside the edges of the frame.
To be fair, Dude Perfect, which is number 3 on the list with $20 million in annual earnings, they don't act like millionaires, but they do clearly invest a lot of that money back into their production to keep the stunts and tricks fresh, which is cool.
Yeah.
Now, also on the list is Jeffree Star, who does vlogs and makeup tutorials and has been around way longer than any of these other dudes, going all the way back to the peak of MySpace.
Didn't you know him back then?
Yes. He pulled in $18 million last year, not just because of his YouTube channel, but also because of his very successful line of cosmetics. And that's the truth behind all these people. They're the highest earning YouTubers, but actual YouTube revenue is only a portion of what got them on this list. The real money, it's in merch, brand deals, and other business ventures. Now, this is especially clear when you look at the channel's monthly view counts, which obviously don't really correspond to where they are on this list at all.
Yeah. You may have noticed at this point that so far this list is entirely populated by men. Not a lot of demographic diversity going on here. Well, good news, guys, because coming in at the number 1 spot in Forbes' list of the top earning YouTubers of 2018 is a 7-year-old boy.
Oh.
See, not just all men. One of them's a boy.
Is it boy? Okay, cool, yeah.
Sorry, ladies. Even the top makeup YouTuber is a man. But yeah, the top YouTuber of the year, pulling in $22 million, is this kid, Ryan, and his channel, Ryan Toys Review, which features videos of Ryan reviewing toys. Filmed, edited, and uploaded by his parents, of course. In just over 3 years, they've uploaded over 1,200 videos, which breaks down to a new video pretty much every day. And out of all the people on this list, they get by far the most amount of monthly views, with 557 million views in just the last month.
Staggering. Yeah, unlike everyone else on this list, Ryan got most of that $22 million from YouTube ad revenue, but he also has some businesses on the side, designing his own toys and outfits that are sold at Walmart. And he's got deals in the works to license his videos to other platforms like Hulu. He'll probably be number 1 again next year by an even larger margin, it's insane. Also, now that every news outlet in the world has run stories about how much this goddamn kid and his family are making just for filming themselves playing with toys, you can absolutely mark our words. The next year, we'll see another huge surge in children's content on YouTube, thanks to all the jealous parents out there looking to exploit their own kids for cash. This has been going on for years now anyway, and if you're not a parent or not a young child, you don't even notice it because this is what kids like.
There's an entire ecosystem out there that exists in iPads being held by babies whose parents don't want to deal with them right now.
Also, it hits on both fronts, and that's why the advertising works so well. It's obviously family friendly, so you're going to get every kind of family friendly ad. It's super targeted because it's specifically for kids who like toys and want to buy them. And then it's also, the two-part thing becomes because kids like watching toys get played with and unwrapped and seeing what they're like. Parents can look at these channels and see if it's something that their kids would like so that they could buy it for them.
Or just never buy your kid gifts.
It's literally a commercial nonstop.
I mean, my household, we won't have any toys. It'd be like, oh, the entire concept of toys, I'll make it so the kid believes toys are something that Ryan plays with on the iPad.
Yeah. It's like how I can just sit for hours and watch The Knife Show when it's just a man with a soothing voice telling me about these lovely knives. I've never bought one. He needs to start selling ad space.
Yeah. But, yeah, this was, I mean, this was on like fucking Good Morning America. Like, definitely parents who otherwise had no idea how fucking lucrative this is gonna be are gonna be like, all right, Timmy, come over here. Do that, just do what you're doing, play with the Legos, and mommy's gonna film you.
And a lot of families are gonna go broke because they're gonna be stockpiling all these toys for their kids to unwrap. Watch out. Actually, Timmy, could you just describe what you're seeing and please do not mess with any of the packaging so that we can take this back to Walmart immediately when the video is filmed? Thank you.
Yeah, that's just good business.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you're like us and you're currently feeling like a poor piece of shit because of that story, don't fret. While the big money lifestyle of a successful YouTube influencer might be sadly out of reach, it is becoming easier and easier for the average Joes of YouTube and other platforms like Instagram to get paid by big brands to say nice things about their products. Just not very much. You're compensated, but I'm not talking Logan Paul money here. Brands are increasingly turning to what are called micro-influencers and nano-influencers. And it's gotten more and more popular as a marketing strategy for a lot of companies who perhaps rightfully don't want to put all their marketing eggs in one YouTuber's basket because that YouTuber might take those eggs into a Japanese forest and stomp on them, or cook an omelet with those eggs that spells out death to all Jews.
Whoops. So definitions vary, but a micro-influencer has between 2,000 and 50,000 followers, and a nano-influencer has 2,000 or less followers. Various companies have popped up that specialize in cataloging thousands upon thousands of small accounts and putting them into categories so they can match them up with big brands for marketing. In addition to not putting all of their eggs in one very expensive basket, the return on investment is supposedly better because smaller influencers are willing to do a lot more for a lot less. On the nano-influencer level, they're often not even compensated with money, just free shit. On one hand, good, get paid, get that free shit. On the other hand, though, it's kind of dystopian to think that one day social media is just gonna be everyone hawking products at each other. The big thing with these are, the way that I read a couple articles on this, and it was like, you know, Ford could spend $1 million going to Logan Paul to have him drive up in a video in one of their trucks and be like, cool. But they could also spend significantly less on a very, very specific car blogger that maybe gets 20,000 views a video, and their return is actually going to be much greater on that for far less money. And then he gets paid, the company gets paid. It's fine, capitalism, yay.
It's fine as long as you properly disclose.
Like we do. Yes. Don't be a Kardashian.
Pretty sure everyone on that top paid YouTubers list has at one point illegally promoted something.
No, you gotta just go to it until you get caught, and then you just say you're sorry.
Yeah. Although, God, one of the stories about these nano influencers said that some of these people are using #ad on posts that aren't even sponsored just so they get the attention. So people think they're an influencer. They're like, well, obviously they're already out there, like influencing. So we should sponsor them as well.
Man, this guy's a real hot product. He's got ads all over the place.
It's fucking so weird. Hey, but speaking of influencers, we should at least acknowledge that.
This is fun.
But speaking of influencers, we should at least acknowledge what went down last week at Twitter's New York City offices when Laura Loomer, a former influential Twitter user who was banned from the platform, handcuffed herself to the door of the building while wearing a yellow Star of David and shouted through a megaphone at everyone unfortunate enough to be within earshot of her about how unfair it was that she got banned.
Yeah.
First off, no, it was actually pretty fair that she was banned. Like many users, Loomer's Twitter ban was not so much about one tweet, but more just the culmination of years upon years of very bad tweets.
So the tweet that actually broke the camel's back was one in which she accused a newly elected member of Congress of being pro-Sharia law, pro-female genital mutilation, pro-murdering homosexuals, and anti-Jewish. But leading up to that was years of tweets calling Muslims savages and saying all Muslims are a threat to America, as well as spreading all sorts of ridiculous conspiracy theories. In response to a tweet about how 2,000 migrants had died trying to cross the Mediterranean in the first half of 2017, Laura Loomer wrote, "Good," clap emoji, "here's to 2,000 more." Sounds like a fun person. Now, later that year, she got banned from both Uber and Lyft after a series of tweets complaining about how she was late to an event because she couldn't find a non-Muslim driver, and pitching a new ride-sharing company that banned Muslims altogether. So,
sounds like a great person.
Yeah, Laura Loomer sucks. And her Twitter feed was absolute cancer. And it should surprise absolutely no one that her account was eventually suspended.
Yeah. Oh, and if you never were exposed to Loomer's terrible Twitter presence, congratulations. But maybe you also remember her from those congressional hearings with Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, where she started screaming nonsense in the audience of the hearing room until being forcibly removed by security while a congressman drowned her out with an auctioneer impression. That was her. That was also the same hearing where Alex Jones confronted Senator Marco Rubio and kind of called him gay, and then later harassed CNN journalist Oliver Darcy on a live stream for several minutes, which of course led to Alex Jones's Twitter account finally being suspended, which a real self-own, that one.
Yeah.
Anyways, what Loomer was doing there with the screaming and the looking like a lunatic, that's what she calls loomering. It's her brand.
Isn't that where you just stand over someone really
That's
creepy?
looming.
Oh, okay.
Loomering is where you start squawking into a megaphone about how Jack Dorsey is bad and Donald Trump needs to save us all. And she actually has a whole history of doing this. Pretty much every time counting it as some sort of victory, despite looking like a complete moron every single time.
This time was no different. In fact, it was the culmination of years.
This is the ultimate loomering.
Yeah, so what happened to Twitter's New York HQ, it was more loomering. It was, like I said, I think the pinnacle of it. Surely if Laura Loomer literally chained herself to Twitter while wearing a Star of David and basically comparing her lack of Twitter account with the Holocaust, that would be the surefire way to get her account
Yes.
back.
This is how.
So somehow that plan didn't work.
Oh, what?
Loomer did not get her account back, but she also didn't get the satisfaction and martyrdom of being removed from the premises by Twitter. The cops showed up, but they said they couldn't actually do anything unless Twitter told them that they wanted her off their property. And Twitter just basically said, hey, you want to chain yourself up outside in the cold? Be our guest. So yeah, she stayed out there yapping into the megaphone for a few hours until she got cold and had to pee, and then she asked the cops to cut the handcuffs. It was pathetic, and yet another truly delicious gourmet self-own in a year already filled with them. It was akin to the Baked Alaska walking around an In-N-Out parking lot for hours.
Man. They should give Baked Alaska his Twitter account back just so he can get banned again.
Yeah.
And we can have a new Baked Alaska breakdown.
Yeah.
Periscope
It's like the
session.
new gladiators in Rome. Let them fight.
Let them fight.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of people who have nothing but respect for our president and yet keep getting unfairly discriminated against because of it, Trump supporters just cannot get laid out there. And hey, that's not our opinion, that's just what we gather from the fact that every month, it seems, a new dating site for Trump supporters pops up, and every single time they say their reason for existing is because nobody wants to date Trump supporters.
They said it.
Self-owned. You could argue that this is just the free market at work.
Mm-hmm.
If your dating profile isn't getting the clicks, that's just the
I
market.
wish the invisible hand of the market could jerk me off at night. That'd be a lot more convenient.
But hey, yeah, so the latest dating site built entirely around the fact that its users love the president is called Writer. Sounds like I'm saying someone who writes, but it's actually Righther. Mm-hmm. Great name. And while it hasn't yet launched, its website is somehow even tackier looking than previous sites that we've covered, like DonaldDaters.com, Trump.dating, and TrumpSingles.com.
But I'm sure that it's riddled with just as much malware.
Yeah. Your personal information is safe here at Writer.com.
What sets Writer apart, though, is that its founder, Christy Edwards Lawton of Turning Point USA, says she'll sue any liberals who try to join, telling the Daily Beast, I have a very nice legal team that will be handling that. This is zero tolerance. Which is surely the way to make sure your site isn't immediately swarmed by trolls the second that it launches.
This will never backfire.
Oh, and also they plan on banning any male user that's been reported for not paying for the first date. They also plan on banning users that use Photoshop for their profile images. But hey, veterans and active duty military, they get a premium account for free.
Thank you for your service.
Now, surely Writer will be the Trump fans-only dating site that finally manages to make dating great again. And if not, that's just the marketplace of ideas, guys.
Yeah, come up with a better idea. Anyways, before we get into even more tech news, it's time to shout out this week's sponsor, Skillshare.
Woo!
Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in all sorts of categories like animation, film production, graphic design, music production, illustration, and lots more. A premium membership to Skillshare gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes on must-know topics so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love.
So in addition to those creative categories that we just listed, there's also a ton of classes in the field of tech, whether it's JavaScript, HTML, CSS, WordPress, C#, Unity, or whatever else you're looking to learn. Skillshare is a lot more affordable than most other learning platforms out there. An annual subscription costs less than $10 a month. And since Skillshare is sponsoring this video, not only do we get to bring some funds into the channel and stay alive because ad revenue is terrible, but the first 500 people who use the promo link down below are gonna get their first 2 months for free. So you get to try out Skillshare risk-free. The URL, again, it's gonna be down in the description, but it is skl.sh/TechNewsDay, all one word, or again, click the link below. The first 500 people to use the promo link get 2 months of Skillshare for free, so don't wait, Skillshare. And thank you for sponsoring the show. That helps us out.
On to some big gaming news. Epic Games has been so insanely successful with Fortnite that they are now setting their sights much higher. They're aiming for the king. They don't plan to miss. They're gonna try to take on Lord Gaben himself by setting up their own games marketplace to compete directly with Steam. And they plan on winning this fight by offering a significantly better revenue split to game makers. You see, to get your game listed on the Steam store, you have to sign an agreement with Valve giving them 30% of all the revenue that your game makes. No one sells dope in here without daddy getting a taste.
Yeah, now for a lot of companies, that Steam deal, it's worth it. Steam is hugely popular, and not being listed for sale on there presumably means a lot less sales for your games. Steam's 30% cut is basically the fee you pay to have your product available to a huge pool of potential customers. It's like putting it at a Target or a Walmart or something like that. For bigger game companies though, this is increasingly seen as an unnecessary shakedown, and we've seen more and more as companies take their games off Steam to sell them directly on their own launcher or marketplace. Steam is aware of this now, and on Friday, they announced that any revenue a game earns beyond $10 million will now be split more favorably for game creators, with a 75-25 split for all money earned after 10 million. It's almost like they got a whiff of this Epic deal.
But yeah, 75-25 is still a really shit deal compared to what Epic Games is promising. They say that they'll let game makers keep 88% of all the earnings, taking just a 12% cut for themselves, which is a pretty damn great offer to game makers, but what makes it especially lucrative is the fact that this isn't just some new games marketplace. This is the Epic launcher, which millions of people already have installed on their computers and use daily when booting up Fortnite. Even better, since Epic owns the Unreal game engine, they'll be waiving the royalty fees for games built using the Unreal engine that are sold in their store. They're apparently going to be announcing their initial slate of games on Thursday at the Game Awards, which is just a giant commercial. But this is already looking like possibly the biggest threat ever to Steam's PC gaming dominance.
They got them young. They got the Fortnite kids in there, and now that's going to be their launcher forever. Also in gaming news though, the whole completely avoidable controversy surrounding Bethesda's Fallout 76 Deluxe Power Armor Edition, it seems like it's been resolved. Just a few days or weeks late. And it's just the bag that's resolved so far, although there was a patch today that fixed some things like increasing the amount of stash you could have in your stash
It's a work in progress.
And we're the beta testers. Aren't you proud?
No.
I know I have a sense of
no
pride and
nor accomplishment, no.
Now for people out of the loop, a bunch of people not only blindly pre-ordered Fallout 76 under the assumption that it was a good game, they also dropped $200 for the collector's edition, which came with a map, some little figurines, a wearable power armor helmet, and a canvas duffel bag. When people started receiving their collector's editions though, the bag was nothing like it was advertised. It wasn't even canvas, it was nylon, and it looked like shit.
Yeah, so when this first started getting attention online, Bethesda made everything worse when first their customer service partner for the collector's editions responded to emails saying they had no plans to do anything about this. Basically, fuck off, kid.
Yeah.
And then secondly, Bethesda issued an official excuse statement about it saying that, well, guys, we couldn't find enough canvas material to make the bags as advertised. So there you go, which was obvious bullshit. There's no canvas shortage. Anyway, when that blew up in their face, they then offered players $5 worth of in-game currency as a consolation, which is already shit. But hilariously, it wasn't even enough in-game currency to purchase a virtual version of the real-life bag that they had been promised yet not received.
But you could buy a plant. That was the biggest slap in the face too, is the official answer was first just like, sorry. And then it was just like, we're gonna give you something that costs us nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like maybe if they had been like, here's $100 worth of atoms.
Yeah.
Like, that's maybe okay. Maybe
It's
people
not
would have been
real
fine with
money.
that. Yeah, they
It
just
costs you nothing.
literally nothing. And you know what? Seeing someone with a cool race car bed in their camp might entice another player to buy one.
That's the whole thing. It's all FOMO.
Yeah, it is.
That's all this microtransaction.
So that was like I even said it last night. I was playing with Bruce Green in Fallout, and I was like, he's like, you really like the game? And I was like, yes, I enjoy the game for the 50th fucking time. Yes, I enjoy the game. However, I can no longer defend Bethesda as a company because they have literally screwed up every single time that something has happened with either anything surrounding this game.
Yeah.
They've done the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing that could be worse now, and I think they might actually do it because they've chosen every wrong answer, is if they show up to the video game awards and are just like, hey, it's us, Bethesda. Remember Fallout 76? We're having a great year. Like, no, just stay home.
Yeah.
Just stay home.
Don't go to the Game Awards, Todd.
Yeah, Todd, it's a bad idea if you're watching. Anyways, this week, finally, after repeatedly stepping in their own shit and then walking directly into a rake that hits them in the face over and over again, never learning. Finally, Bethesda decided to just give people the thing that they'd ordered and paid money for.
Oh!
What a concept.
Oh!
They tweeted on Monday that they're finalizing plans to manufacture replacement canvas bags for people who ordered the Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition. And those wanting a replacement need to go to a website and submit a ticket by the end of January to get a replacement. Honestly, was that so hard? It's incredible how
The
much...
amount they lost in, PR.
Yeah, in good faith with their most loyal customers.
Like, I mean, I have no concept of how much it costs to mass manufacture a...
about $3.50 from
it
China.
can't have been a lot, and like the amount of damage to their reputation, oh God.
Yeah, no, someone was
so
posting,
dumb.
so first of all, if you get them produced en masse in China or wherever, it's gonna be cheaper, but people were showing like, you can get just the canvas bag that was basically the same on Alibaba at retail for like $6.50. So, again, it's incredible how much backlash this very wealthy company had to be subjected to before doing the only logical thing worth doing here.
And the right thing.
And I can only imagine that February rolls around and they start charging people. They're like, well, you didn't send your nylon bag back.
Yeah, this saga is not over until the bags are with their
hands.
rightful owners. Don't
Don't
let
do
them-
it.
No, they
Come on, Todd.
They violated our trust enough times at this point that you shouldn't let them off just with a promise.
No.
No, I want to see that bag.
Hold their feet to the fire.
I want to give that bag a stress test.
Yeah. Better be good.
The website said it can hold 200 pounds. This bag is tearing with just 50 pounds in it. Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's just go ahead and blast through the rest of this week's news. There was a lot. If you've ever used Quora or stayed at a Marriott hotel, well, guess what? You may have been the victim of a data breach.
No, now everyone knows all my fake answers where they can go back to on Quora. How do you deal with a crying baby? Put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
Now it's all coming back to me.
Top answer.
Yeah.
Ricky for the win. So with Quora, it looks like it was mostly just user information and possibly passwords. Also, why? There's a huge community on there, I just don't understand it. But with Marriott, their database has apparently been compromised for 4 years. They left the door open for 4 years.
We'll leave the light on for you. Actually, I think that's days in, but close enough.
They might all, it's like Marriott owns so many fucking companies now, who knows? But the data in the breach includes names, mailing addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, passport numbers, rewards program, account info, date of birth, gender, arrival and departure info, and reservation dates.
Basically, anything you'd ever want to know about any person ever.
Hilariously, ironically, this comes just as the nationwide workers' strike by Marriott employees gets resolved. There's 2 months of picket lines outside of Marriott because they're treating their employees like shit. They just, this week, resolved that dispute, and everyone's going back to work. And right when that happens, this bag of shit lands on the doorstep. So now if you're staying at a Marriott, you don't have to feel bad about being a scab and crossing a picket line, but you still should be very concerned with your personal data because they don't seem to give a fuck about protecting it.
You would have thought, you would have hoped, you could have dreamed that after the Equifax thing happened, every company would have been like, oh shit, we should probably like look into whether or not our entire databases are secure.
When companies aren't willing to drop like money on a fucking canvas bag.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, to imagine how much an audit of your systems would cost.
I mean, probably a lot,
but it
like,
would be worth it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like it's like the polar opposite of like how the UK has to now look back at all of its physicians to make sure they're licensed.
Do the job right the first time.
Just fucking do it.
It costs a lot less if you just do the job right the first time.
Yeah. Now in Tesla news. Okay, in Tesla news, some drunk idiot in Northern California decided to let Jesus take the wheel. And Jesus was Elon Musk's AI. While he took a nap on the 101 highway. And police, they had to follow the car for 7 miles before figuring out how to get the autopilot to stop. They ended up putting a cop car in front of the Tesla that gradually slowed down to a stop, forcing the Tesla's autopilot to stop as well. But a real head scratcher here is how this even happened. The Tesla autopilot isn't supposed to work. Your hands are off the wheel for more than a few seconds, and this guy was fast asleep.
Was he sleeping with his hands?
Maybe that, or I feel like this is one of those things where, like, you know, you can like hack your printer by like putting like a piece of paper in or whatever. This is like some
Which
guy,
you should do.
Yeah.
The printer companies are fucking you in the ass. You need to open that baby up and just put a little piece of tape on that sensor.
This guy probably got like there's probably some like hack on the internet where it's like, yeah, if you order this tape, you can tape it to the steering wheel and it acts like your hands are touching. That way you can just go to sleep on your way to work.
Could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy's lucky he's alive.
Yeah, and he's lucky that he didn't accidentally kill anyone. But hey, good job for Tesla.
Hilariously,
This is actually a positive Tesla story.
Yeah. Well, the guy still got a DUI. So.
No, I'm saying that he's fucked, but the Tesla looks great in this. There you go.
Yeah. Someone wins here.
Yeah.
It's Elon Musk somehow. In robot news, here is a Toyota robot called the THR3 that is controlled by a human and basically acts as an avatar. The user straps into this chair with sensors connected to their arms and a VR headset strapped to their heads, and they control the robot as if it were their own body. It is truly some sci-fi shit, and actually might have some serious practical applications in the real world, but yeah, pretty fucking nuts.
It's. I mean, they've shown. I don't know if it was in Silicon Valley or what, where like he has the thing go for him, and it's just like his face on it.
I mean, I don't know if those have been around for a while. This thing has like arms.
Well,
and,
that's what I'm saying. Like
just like the finger movements. Like he was playing with like Legos and shit with this thing, and you see it. It's
It'd be
crazy.
great for business, like for people that have to travel for business.
It'd be good for like rescue operations.
Oh
and
yeah,
shit
that'd be great too.
Because like the whole thing is, all the data is transmitted over 5G.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5G is the first data transmission that's fast enough that you can control a complex humanoid robot.
Yeah, just don't drive through a tunnel while you're controlling it.
In other robot news, if the Boston Dynamics SpotMini didn't creep you out enough, another company called Bionic is selling plans for a set of humanoid arms that can mount to it, creating what's best described as a centaur robot. So we've got
Goro.
We've got that to look forward to as well.
Wait, what's the one? Not the one. Goro has 4 arms, but there's a centaur one in that game too. I don't know. Finally, hey, Jeff Bezos, remember exactly 5 years ago when you told everyone about how Amazon was going to be using drones to deliver packages and we'd expect to see them in 5 years? It's been 5 years.
No drones.
No drones. In fact, barely a peep about those drones in quite a while, so I guess just remember this anytime some big tech guy says something's going to happen within a specific period of time. They're probably just pulling numbers out of their ass. Although, it's all that government bureaucracy and red tape. And you know Trump's not going to give him a break because he's Washington Post,
The
Amazon.
failing Jeff Bezos Scamazon Washington Post.
Did you see the other thing that came out this week? They're like $200. They're Bose sunglasses.
Yeah, it's dumb.
And it's augmented reality, but not visually. It just has like speakers next to your ears. They kind of look like those Oakley like cool dude ones.
They showed these off like a year ago. I think we reported on it. And it's just
South by Southwest
gives a
this year.
shit? Yeah.
If you like look at a business, it'll be like they sell coffee and donuts. That is a boutique for women's clothing, and it's just like,
Nah.
Pull my phone out.
Nah.
Yeah. Wait, was that a drone?
No. Just a loud ass combustion engine car. Anyways, yeah, we're not on that top 10 list of YouTubers, so help us get there.
Yeah.
No, there's no way, but help us get closer to that, but by going to our Patreon, patreon.com/internettoday. Or if you don't want to give Patreon your info because you might get hacked and...
Don't say that. They haven't been hacked, have they?
I don't know.
No, don't say that. You go to Patreon.
Well,
if you get one of the tiers that you get the postcard or the poster, those are going to start going out next week.
Yeah, we have this very nice Christmas card.
Yes, there you go.
You can get that.
But if you don't have that, you can join right below on a channel membership. And you know what? We're not out here making millions of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars.
We're a working man's YouTube channel.
Yeah, so
salt of the earth.
Support it so we can make fun of
blue collar.
So we can keep making jokes about the invisible hand of the market jerking us off at night.
Yeah.
Because that's why we're not getting the big ad dollars, because we're in the YouTube section where it says, hey, risky to run your ads here.
Yeah, these guys, they talk a lot of shit.
Specifically about tech companies.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
And game companies.
And YouTube.
Fuck.
That was demonetized immediately with no...
It was.
We did a video last week about YouTube.
Well, it was because of the porn.
That was in the same episode?
Yeah, they had the Starbucks porn.
Okay. Still suspicious.
Very suspicious.
Very suspicious. They should only demonetize half of it and then run an ad on the second half.
Yeah.
Or whichever one.
Anyways, yeah.
Sorry about the porn.
Watch a couple of our recent episodes. There's more.
We got one about a big cow.
Big cow.
Yeah, that one.
Look at this big fucking cow.
Monetized. They love it.
Everyone agrees that cow is large.
Did you see they found a bigger cow? In Canada.
Yeah, there's, okay. We have some sort of cow arms race.
2019, year of the cow. Bye.